Dear students, can you please confirm me? Am I clearly audible and visible to all of you? Dear students, kindly confirm, am I clearly audible and visible to all of you? Okay. So, a very warm welcome to all of you out there. Greetings of day. I hope and I pray that all of you are doing great. Well, first of all, starting this session with wishes and prayers that whichever paper you attempted in the previous attempt, may that paper clears in the upcoming results. May you succeed with the flying colors. Lots of prayers for you. Okay. So we are here today for the orientation and guidance session of your all important strategic examination, advanced audit and assurance. Well, what this session is all about. Obviously, this session is all about AAA for the upcoming sittings, for the upcoming sessions. That is from September 24 till June 25. We'll be having 4 sessions every year. Usually there are some cosmetic changes, some minor improvements, some minor changes, not much, hardly 0.5% or 1%, but more or less things remain constant until and unless there is a change in the format of the exam or any question. And this time as well, there is no such change. And the content will be same. The content will be similar for these 4 sittings. September 24, December 24, March 25, and June 25. Okay. So in this session, we will be discussing a lot about AAA. What is AAA? Why it is a very important paper? What is the course outline? And how are we going to cover this all important subject for our upcoming attempt? Okay. A bit of introduction about myself. My name is Munir Muhammad Shafi. I'll be your facilitator for this subject of advanced audit and assurance. I myself am a practicing auditor, practicing chartered accountant. I'm a fellow member of ACCA. I'm also a fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Uh, I am currently serving at various technical and professional committees of ICAP and ACCA Pakistan. I have been previously associated with KPMG. Then I served in industry for around 5 years, and then I started my own practicing firm. You can find my contact details here. Okay. Coming on to the session agenda. In this section, we will be discussing about AAA, its importance amongst all professional skills paper. Okay. I'll take your excuse to have a glass of water. Just a minute. We'll be having a discussion about the overview of the syllabus. We'll be looking at paper patterns in key areas. We'll also be discussing the passing ratio. We'll be having a brief discussion what the professional marks are and how can we secure these marks. We'll also be discussing about the reasons of failure. We'll see what do we mean by exam techniques and what are the sample exam techniques. What will be our teaching methodology and what will be the session planner. Okay. So starting our overall discussion about the subject of AAA. What is AAA? Advanced Audit and Assurance. The advanced level paper of what you have already studied in your earlier paper of AA. So obviously, the concepts, the idea will be more or less same. But the progression towards advanced level is obviously very imminent here in advanced audit and assurance. For example, we'll be having ethics. In earlier paper, we also discussed about ethics, but here the questions and scenarios will be a bit advanced. Similarly, business risk, audit reporting, and the advancement will be very much visible in terms of additional standards, the new standards, which were not examinable at your financial reporting, plus some new topics as well, in which we'll be looking at additional assignments, the new assignments, like forensics, like due diligence. What are those? Can we perform those assignments? How can we perform those assignments? Okay, so a discussion about this will also be coming shortly. Its importance amongst all professional skill papers. Well, it goes without saying that if you are aiming for this ACCA qualification, you, in the very first place, are aspiring to be auditors. ACCA itself is an audit supervisory body. ACCA itself is audit supervisory body. So obviously, if we talk about this examination of advanced audit and assurance, if ACCA is audit supervisory body, then obviously audit examination stands as the core exam of this qualification, isn't it? And ACCA being one of the regulator, being one of the audit supervisory body, if ACCA is testing its students in this paper, then obviously it will be a hard matter to face comparatively. So obviously it's important. And this is the hallmark paper of auditing in an audit qualification. And obviously the auditing skills will not only play a vital role only if you're setting a firm. The auditing skills, the review, the checking skills, the testing skills, these are applied even if you are even if you are serving in a finance department. Are you getting this? Because these skills play the role, play the part, some way or the other during your performance of official tasks. Okay? So very important paper. And around 80% students go for this paper, 70-80% students. Overview of the syllabus, we will be having a look at the overview of the syllabus. Very interesting. If we talk about the overview of the syllabus, the first learning objective we have is the regulatory environment. Regulatory environment. Very important in current context where the violation of laws and regulations has been dealt very particularly. So we will talk about international regulatory framework for audits and assurances, money laundering, very big point of concern internationally, globally. Money laundering. How the money can be laundered, how the illegal proceeds are channelized through different mechanisms in order to prove that this is a genuine income. Laws and regulations. about the violation of laws and regulations. If we are auditor and if you're auditing a financial statement, then how much should we be very concerned about the non-compliance of laws and regulations? Are we expected or are we supposed to know about all the possible laws and regulations surrounding a company, or relevant to the audit only? So this topic covers in depth detail which laws and regulations are we supposed to identify, understand, and apply. Then comes another important learning objective: professional and ethical considerations. This is what you've already studied earlier, but here it will come with all its might and power with some advanced level examples. Fraud and error, you already studied. Here again, with some additional applications. Professional liability, this is comparatively a new topic. How the auditor can manage its liability. Because obviously, if auditor is giving the opinion, and millions of people are relying on its opinion, then what if the opinion goes wrong? Can the auditor be held responsible for his negligence? If yes, for what amount will he be liable for? Professional liability. Then he will be liable for what amount he will be liable for, and can he restrict his liability? All the discussions will be coming in professional liability. Quality and practice management. Auditor is running a firm, undertaking lots of assignments. How the quality can be maintained in all these assignments? Be it audit assignment, be it review assignment, be it due diligence, whichever assignment it is. How the quality could be introduced and how the quality could be maintained and sustained. That's a very important task. And the two very important standards, ICQM1, ICQM2. Both these standards govern the quality management guidelines. Plus, there will be additional considerations like advertising, tendering, obtaining professional work, accepting professional assignments, which are very important when you are actually running an audit firm and when you're actually accepting audit clients. Then we have a very important learning objective of planning and conducting the audit. What does it have? What it is? Well, you've already seen this. You already have an idea of this. But here again, things will be at an advanced level. Additional standards will be popped in here. For example, you know what's planning, what's materiality, what's risk assessment. You know how to identify audit risks, business risks. All that will be discussed again in context of AAA. Plus, the application of those risks will be enhanced. How? Here, at this level, group accounts will be tested because you will be also having a look at the group audits, consolidated audits. You will be performing audit of a group. So group audits will have implications about consolidation, goodwill, consolidation. Okay. Non-current assets held for sale, financial instruments. IS 19, IFRS 2, IS 12, technical standards which were earlier not tested at AA level. Are you getting this? So, planning risk assessment, the initial phase of the audit, where we assess the risk, where we smell the risk, then evidence and testing considerations, and then obtaining the audit evidence. Here, all the accounting standards will be playing their part. Then we have completion review and reporting, the last phase of the audit, where we are signing the audit report. We are completing the concluding stages, completion stages, and after completion, after completing all our tasks, after completing all our checklist, whether we have reviewed all subsequent event, whether we have reviewed the going concern, or have they performed the final analytical procedures. If everything is good to go, we will go towards completion and final review. Many a times, a pre-issuance review, hot review, we will see what it is. And then we go to issue the audit report. And in audit report, there could be various audit opinions, qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer. You can recall from your earlier studies. So we have to recall all those. plus additional paragraphs which are issued in the audit report. Then we have reports to those charged with governance. What are those reports? When are those issued? We'll be discussing this. Then we have other assignments area, very interesting and a point of concern for the examiner as well. In this other assignments, we look at other assignments other than audits. Assignments other than audits. Because if we are running a professional services firms, we will not only be performing audits, we will be performing a variety of other tasks. We will be performing due diligence assignments, review assignments, prospective information, review of prospective information, forensics. What is due diligence? Suppose a company is going to acquire another company. Can they ask for our services? Then please assess this. Please assess this acquisition. Should we go for it or not? Yes, it's due diligence. Interim financials. We can be asked to review the interim financial statements. We can be asked to review a budget, a forecast, the future financial information. We can be asked to review a set of financials for any fraud investigations. We will be asked to audit the information in the public sector, performance information. How is it going? What are the performance criteria? Then social and environmental information, sustainability and integrated reporting. IFRS is moving towards S1 and S2. Sustainability standards. So being auditor, what is the role of the audit when we go towards sustainability and integrated reporting? Okay. And then reporting on those other assignments, on all these. Then what are the reporting implication of all these other assignments? Getting this? Current issues and developments about audit profession. Professional skills, very important. Because now we have $20 marks for professional skills. So 80 content-based technical marks and 20 professional marks. How can we score these 20 professional marks? Do we have to write down a lot of content for it? Answer is no. Whatever content you are preparing, whatever technical knowledge you are preparing, if you prepare it appropriately, if you prepare it properly, these 20 professional marks will automatically flow in your kitty. Because when you will be preparing for those 80 technical marks, when you will be following your tutor guidelines for exam techniques, for planning considerations, for exam techniques, how to draft your answer, how to prioritize the risks, how to basically link the numbers with the content, how to apply your professional skills, how to inculcate the business and commercial acumen, then you will be taking care of all these factors. These 20 marks will automatically be flowing in your kitty. No extra work to be done for this. Are you getting this? So what is the great thing here? You will be writing for 80 marks, but you will end up completing 100-mark paper. But these skills should be practiced. These skills should be diligently learned and known. What are those? Communication skills. How you communicate, how you prepare the briefing notes, how you communicate with the partner. Analysis and evaluation. How you analyze the numbers given, how you link it out with the information given in the content. How you evaluate, how you make the decision. Is it good to go? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it right? Is it wrong? Evaluation. Analyzing the numbers in the light of the information given, plus giving your evaluation, analysis and evaluation. Professional skepticism and judgment. Critical thinking, questioning mind, not accepting what is being said by the CFO, not accepting whatever mistreatment, whatever wrong treatment has been suggested by the CFO. Thinking of your own, applying thy standards, applying your professional skills and judgment, and having a look at the scenario. Is it something fishy? Is the situation triggering any alarm? Fashion skepticism and judgment, very important. Then commercial acumen, business understanding. We may be encountering a variety of situations where you may be required to apply your business acumen. Where you will be required to apply your business understanding. For example, very small and straightforward example, business risks. You apply your business understanding when you are identifying business risks, isn't it? You are applying your commercial understanding. You are applying your business understanding when you are suggesting controls, isn't it? It's commercial acumen. So if you can do this properly, these 20 marks will be in your kitty, in your pocket. Then comes employability and technology skills. What is this? Employability and technology skills is basically the use of CV platform, which we will teach you, which you will practice, not a big deal at all. Okay? How you write in the response options, how you make use of the spreadsheets, calculator, highlighting, workspace, computer screens, things like that. Okay? Okay. Moving on. We then have a AAA exam pattern discussion. What is the exam pattern? Very simple. You have three questions. Question one, question two, question three. Question one is a 50 marker question, 25, 25. Out of these 50, 10 are professional in question one, 5 are professional in question two, and 5 are professional in question three. And I told you, your hunt for these professional marks will be through the technical marks. If you have targeted the technical marks properly, you will end up receiving these professional marks properly. Otherwise, you will be struggling, unfortunately. Okay? So you have to be very particular and specific about these techniques. If you are particular about the techniques, answer techniques, you will grab these professional marks. What do I mean when I say exam techniques? See, every question is a specific pattern-based question. For example, question number one. Question number one will be set around planning stage. The planning of probably existing audit client or a new audit client. Question two or question three. It could be two or three. One usually will be focusing on completion, review, and reporting. And the other would be usually focusing on other assignments and current issues. So we know what is going to come up in these questions. Can we develop or target an approach? How to attack these questions, how to approach these questions, how to proceed, attempt these questions. Can we develop an approach? The answer is yes. And that approach is called the exam technique. Let me use some funky color. Okay, let's use this green one. Risk assessment. Business risk. What has happened? Okay. Business risk, audit risk, or risk of material misstatement. This is such a question which comes up in every attempt. And we have a technique. We have a technique. We have a technique to attempt the risk assessment questions, be it business risk, be it audit risk. We have a technique. So we have to learn that technique, we have to practice that technique, and you have to apply that technique. If you can do so, not only you can grab the content related marks, you can also grab professional marks. That's the key. Then we have ethical, professional, and quality management matters. Comes up in almost every attempt. Can we develop an approach? For example, a cricket team is aiming to play with another team, and they know it's a 5 match series. And in every match, this will be the first bowler, this will be the second. These are the four bowlers. They know what the bowlers are, who the bowlers are. Can they develop a plan how to attack those bowlers? Simple. We know question is going to come. There could be some variations. The bowler can bowl some variations, some slower deliveries, some yorkers, some bounces, in swing, out swing, but the bowler remains the same. Question remains the same. There will be variations. Company will be changed, industry will be changed. Few things here and there could be changed, but your technique will be as it is. Okay. Procedures and evidence. Again, we have a technique to address procedures and evidence. Similarly, in question number 2, audit reporting, opinion-based question. We have a technique how to attempt those questions. Again, procedures and evidence. It can come up in any part, in any question. Ethical matters can come up in any question. Other assignments, acceptance considerations. We know what are the acceptance considerations. Can we have a technique? Yes, I'll just show you what the techniques are. Procedures for non-audit assignments, similar technique. Knowledge areas, not usually tested, but this is something easy. Okay. And I've already mentioned ethical requirements can feature in any question. Audit, other procedures can feature in any question. Other standards can also be tested. And this is just an indicator, correct? Okay. Okay. Past exams, trends, and analysis. Do we mean by that? Okay. So it's on your screens. This is just an overview, just to give you an example. Things are quite repetitive. How? See, question number 1. Every time these things are going to be tested. Business risk, business risk, business risk, business risk, audit 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 risk. So in every attempt, you'll see audit risk, business risk in few attempts. After there could be a gap of 1 or 2 attempts for business risks, but audit risk is a compulsory feature. Audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures in every attempt. Ethical considerations. Ethical considerations. Ethical considerations, ethics, accepting engagement, it also contains ethics. Major chunk will be of ethics, ethical consideration. So we know what is being tested every time, isn't it? See, quality management considerations, quality, quality. We know what is going to be tested. Cash flow forecast, prospective financial information, prospective financial information, other assignments. Audit reporting, have a look at this. Audit reporting question. Audit reporting, audit reporting, audit reporting. Every time we are going to have a look at same questions. So when we know that similar questions or same questions will be tested, so you have to develop the approach. Okay. And if we fail to develop the approach, that's problematic. For example, if we have ethical threat, ethical considerations, so we have this technique. We have this exam technique to follow. We will prepare this technique. We will learn how to apply this technique in drafting ethical threats. And you have to practice them. We'll be looking at past exam questions. We have exam technique for ethical and professional considerations. We have technique for business risks. We will look at the marking schemes. There's an example of how we apply that business risk in December 2018 question. We will look at various questions. Then, for example, we have exam technique for risk of material misstatements. There's a 6-step technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-step technique. We have to learn this technique in the very first place, and then we have to apply it in the various questions. We have to look at marking scheme so that we do not overrun on any specific part or any specific aspect. There will be examples of audit risks which we'll be looking at by applying that technique. There are technique for quality management considerations. We have to learn this technique. Number of steps. We have to learn the exam technique for acceptance considerations. Very important. We have to learn the technique for matters and evidence questions. Very important. Matters and evidence questions. Getting this? So this is what we have to be champion at. And obviously, practice will make us perfect. And we'll be practicing a variety of exam questions. Now let's discuss what are the common reasons of failure of AAA. Selective studies. Don't leave any topic. Thorough coverage is the key to success. Poor memory from accounting standards knowledge. SBR knowledge. You fail to identify and narrate the relevant accounting standards. Please be very vigilant. You cannot risk losing marks here. Okay? Lack of paper technique. As I told you, you do not know the technique, you don't apply the technique, and as a result, you suffer a lot. Lack of practice. Practice, practice, and practice. Practice is the key to success. Poor answer planning. We'll demonstrate. I'll show you how to plan an answer. And obviously, you have to follow this in your practice. Poor writing skills. Again, that will be improved through practice. Unable to adapt mindset as per the given case will be improved through practice. Failure to understand the requirement. Failure to understand the marking scheme. There are only 2 marks available. If you're writing pages and pages, useless. Unable to understand the issues. When you will be having a habit of reading and dealing with multiple issues, then this will not be a problem for you in the examination. Poor typing speed. So the more you run these fingers on the keyboard, typing speed will increase. Poor time management, running over a specific part. There is a time for a specific part. When the time is done, Move on to the other part. Ignoring technical articles, ignoring examiner reports, deadly. So how can we be facilitating you? How will we be facilitating you? Okay. So this will be our teaching methodology. We'll be having one live class per week in which we will focus on attempting questions, past exam questions, okay? Recorded sessions, you will be having recorded sessions. You will have to cover the recordings beforehand so that when we attempt past exam questions, you should be at the same wavelength. Notes are available at the portal. Exam-based testing app is available. There will be assignments. WhatsApp support group will be available. Latest study support material. They will be exam-focused. Webinars, practice marathons, and much more. One thing I would also like to show you. Okay. Okay. So unfortunately, unfortunately, the screen was not appearing when I was demonstrating these exam techniques related area. These exam techniques. Okay, so I was sharing this screen. Unfortunately, I think the students, this screen was not visible. The screen was stuck for some reason. So apologies for that. So I was showing that these exam techniques, we have to learn these exam techniques. We have to gain mastery over these exam techniques, and then we will be applying these exam techniques with the marking schemes. I was showing these exam techniques when the screen was stuck, unfortunately. Exam technique for risk of material misstatement, the 6-step technique, as I was referring to, the marking scheme of risk of material misstatement, the example, how we draft these risks, we'll be drafting in the live classes. So these exam techniques should be learned. Very, very important. Okay. And reasons of failure, I discussed, but as the screen was stuck, so you are not able to have a look at these reasons of failure. So I hope this is now on your screens. You'll be having these slide, no issue. But when I was discussing, unfortunately, the screen was stuck. Okay. Plus, we also discussed the teaching methodology with all these features. Okay. Planner. This student's planner. I'll also be sharing this planner. That how are you going to cover the learning objective? For example, you are in June, in the month of June. So you have to start studying from the third week of June. It's the end of second week. Okay. So you'll be starting from third week of June. In which week you have to cover which learning objective? Week 4 of June, week 1 to week 3 of July, you have to cover planning and conduct of the audit. Week 4 of July, week 1st of August, week 2nd of August, third week of August, and one live session. So this is a student's planner. I'll be sharing this planner with you. And the time and day of live sessions will be communicated in the official WhatsApp group. Okay. So I would really appreciate if you have any comments or questions. You can Feel free and ask any of the questions which you have. Perfect. So, dear students, thank you very much for attending today's session. And I would really appreciate uh, if you keep on covering the recorded content before we move on to the live classes. Because in live classes, we'll be practicing the question. And if you are unable to cover the recorded content, the live sessions will not be very useful for you. Okay. So looking forward to see you all in the live sessions. Looking forward to see you all in the upcoming sessions. Take care a lot. Your tutor signing off. Wishing you very best of luck with your preparation. Bye-bye.